If you don't know who Eisel Mazard is, he is this guy in his 40s that goes around under the name à-bas-le-ciel on YouTube. I have made videos about him in the past. Check out my other channel, and you will learn all about him from his history of YouTube videos. He is basically this middle-aged man who thinks of himself as an intellectual, and he acts like a victim a lot of the times when people insult him. But he is well known for being an insulting bully himself, particularly towards women. He thinks of himself as a genius, and he likes to insult other people's intelligence, calling them stupid, which we all do sometimes, but he does it excessively with no context a lot of the times. And he also likes to insult women's appearance. Before, he was using the excuse that he was doing it for the sake of the vegan movement, and it's because he sees women trying to act like models and trying to use their looks to earn a living, to which he thinks they won't be successful as models. But now it looks like Eisel is calling women ugly, just for the heck of it, just to be malicious. He is now insulting the appearance of women who are in relationships with men who he deems to be too handsome for those women. Can you believe this?
Next question is, when is your birthday? My birthday is January 4th, and I always hated that my birthday was on January 4th because if I were born 4 days earlier, then I would be a grade more than I actually am. So when everybody would ask me my grade, I'd be like, oh, I'm in grade 7, and then all the grade 8s would be like, oh, you're so much younger than us. And I'd be like, no, I'm not, because if I was born 4 days earlier, I would be in grade 8 just like you, so get over yourself. Anyways, my name is Hallie, kind of like Halle Berry, except for I'm not black, or nearly as hot, or famous, or cool.
Everybody knows it. Nobody wants to admit it. Nobody wants to talk about it. The vast majority of human beings are too dumb to fuck. And of course, it's subjective. It's a subjective judgment. But nobody wants to look in the mirror and admit to themselves that the vast majority of other people subjectively judge them to be too dumb to fuck. And guess what, guys? It's true of the majority of us, the majority of the time, in the perception of the majority of all other human beings. So that's why nobody is fucking comfortable talking about this or thinking about this. It's deeply disturbing. Oh, we're way more comfortable talking about this line here. Yeah. Some people are too ugly to fuck. Oh, that we can admit to ourselves. And also, it's not that great a percentage of the human race. So this we can cope with. Getting rejected because of your looks. Oh, you feel judged. You are judged. Getting rejected because someone else is smarter than you and from their perspective, they think you're retarded. That's tough. But we're not running out of judgments here. What about all the people who are too immoral to fuck? Some of you are in the audience saying, what do you mean? You're willing to take whatever you can get. No, you're not. No, you're not.
I have a lot of stuff.
It involved like a photographer and 4 Jewish guys.
You notice that Eisel likes to beat around the bush to make himself look smart when he really isn't.
What? Why you gotta make a big deal about them being Jewish, bro?
Okay, that I can agree with.
It involved like a photographer and 4 Jewish guys.
Oh,
why do you know that story?
The gangbang.
Yeah.
The gangbang. Okay, so basically I worked with this photographer and we hit it off. By the end of the photo shoot, I was sucking his dick. He invited in his roommate, sucked his dick
They were
too.
cousins.
Have you ever rejected someone because they smoked cigarettes?
I'm very much against smoking.
Have you ever rejected someone because they smoke meth, because they smoke crack, because they smoke fentanyl? Of course, you have moral standards. They may be totally subjective. They may be totally arbitrary. They may be totally ridiculous. But let's say you're a fucking vegan. Well, are you only willing to fuck other vegans? Now what percentage of humanity can you get down with?
There is a 4-to-1 ratio of vegan women to men, and so many vegans only date other vegans. It does look like vegan men have a lot of options, but I don't think veganism is healthy But that's another subject.
But just from my own personal experience, I have definitely been in what I would consider a toxic relationship. And I'm not even calling the person I dated toxic. It was just toxic for myself because for whatever reason, we're just not compatible.
With the sole exception of intelligence, you can have too much of a good thing. You can't be too smart. It's not possible. You can be too attractive for your own good. Certainly, a woman can be too attractive for her husband's own good, or a husband can be too attractive for his wife's own good. It's much more common.
Nope, you are way wrong about that.
I have known miserable married couples where the wife complains the husband has too low a sex drive. The husband only wants to have sex like once a month, if that. Well, guess what? You can have too high a sex drive. You can have a man who wants to have sex 4 times a day minimum, often enough, 8 times a day, 12 times a day. You go to the doctor and say you've got a sore vagina. He's like inspecting it. He's like, oh, well, guess what the fucking problem is? If you don't have an open relationship and let your husband start banging other women, your ovaries are going to look like fucking scrambled eggs. You can have too much of a good thing. You can be too attractive. You can have too high a sex drive. Intelligence versus ignorance? No. You can never be too well read, too well informed, too wise. For that, there's no upper limit. So this brings us to the burning question of the hour. Perhaps the question of the year and the decade as well. Why do so many hot guys prefer ugly women?
Ugly by whose standards? Yours?
Yeah, I said it. I'm talking about men who have a choice and choose to go down the ugly road leading to Lake I Wanna Vomit.
I wouldn't label other people as vomit-inducing if I were you.
Mike the Vegan, not to my taste, but objectively speaking, a gorgeous man. Not talented, not intelligent, not ethical. But he's famous. Look at this girl he's shacked up with. And I mean shack both literally and figuratively.
Okay, I personally don't find her attractive either. But why is it any of your business who dates who? He could genuinely perceive her to be beautiful because he has different tastes than you.
They live together in a fucking tiny house. Hope it's got a backyard with a big fucking bucket full of sand. Stick your head in the fucking sand once in a while. Give yourself some goddamn relief.
Yeah, he is really passionate about being a bully.
John Venus. Yeah, I said it, but you've been thinking it.
How can you know what other people think about her appearance?
You've been thinking it for all these years. I understand why this guy became ex-vegan. I understand why he took up hunting. He'd rather look at a fucking blood-soaked carcass in the middle of the woods.
Really? You regard a woman like her as objectively repulsive? And you actually think John Venus does not find her physically attractive? At worst, she is just a normal-looking woman with dirty blonde hair, with a nose that is slightly pointy, which may not be some people's cup of tea. But I cannot fathom anything repulsive about her appearance. Seriously, if you think a woman who looks like her is grossly unattractive, you must throw up at almost every woman you see. But it doesn't look like it, since your channel illustrates time and time again how creepy and obsessed you are with so many women, even those that you deem to be unattractive. Like I said, you just want to be malicious and insulting.
Then be trapped indoors with this chick who looks like she got rejected from the casting call to play the lead role in the movie adaptation of Lemmings for the Sega Genesis.
Well, at least you gave an explanation to why you feel that way. But no, she doesn't remind me of that. And I don't even know what that game is.
Brian Turner and Sammy Grimm. Dude, what? Dude, what? Dude, what?
Are you for real? What do you find so repulsive about her? She doesn't look that much different from your ex-wife. You must not have found your ex-wife physically attractive, Eisel. Again, just like with John Venus's wife, At worst, she is just a normal-looking woman. I actually think the man here, Brian Turner, doesn't look good enough to be with her, to be honest.
What? What?
I'm standing there minding my own business, trying to take photos of Brian, and this lady comes up to me. This is a family beach. You should not be wearing that. And it took me by surprise because I was not expecting that. And Brian was like, what, a bathing suit? And I was like, yeah. And then she walked away.
Meanwhile, in case you have not picked up on the subtle insinuation that I've presented to you through visual juxtapositions with my amazing editing skills, the gorgeous creature you see on screen.
Referring to women as creatures. Nice. And would you still see her as gorgeous if she was not wearing makeup?
Who has impeccable vegan credentials. She ain't got no man. All I've ever seen from her on social media for 5 years, 8 years now?
It's just so creepy and inappropriate how you stalk these women as a man in his 40s who has children.
Is her complaining that she can't get no man that lives up to her standards. I don't know her whole story. I don't know if she's had a few boyfriends come and go, but I don't know, they didn't, meet the standards to appear on her Instagram or her YouTube channel or whatever. And Nina and Randa are the fucking next level. They're the ultimate vegan incels. Despite their fame, despite their fortune, they can't get laid to save their lives. And if you look at the men they have been with, if you look at the boyfriends they have had, and the men they're going to have to settle for, get married to, and raise kids with, to say that they're scraping the bottom of the barrel would be an insult to any...
Okay, that was irrelevant. Unless you were flipping the genders in your criticism here. But based on what you said in the past, don't you regard Nina and Randa to be ugly? So why do you care about who they get into relationships with? And if they have trouble with dating, then that just disproves your narrative that the top guys tend to choose ugly women.
Decent, self-respecting barrel and spatula combination. So why would any man who has the option to be with a beautiful woman, or to be with many beautiful women, to be with an uncertain succession of 5, 10, 12 beautiful women per year, why would any man who has options choose to commit to a woman who is less attractive or even outright, downright, goddamn ugly? Why?
Like I said, they just have different tastes from you, Sherlock.
There is an answer. And I can say this because I am a man who has options himself. Always has, always will.
No, you won't. You did, but you won't anymore. You are unemployed and rely on your mom financially. And maybe you had a lot of options because, like I said, there is a 4-to-1 female-to-male ratio within veganism. So there is less competition amongst men. And you are taking advantage of the fact that most vegans only date other vegans. Maybe that's the only reason you became vegan in the first place.
It doesn't fucking matter if you think I'm ugly. Having options and being ugly, two totally different things, totally different subject for a totally different video, maybe on a different YouTube channel. But I digress. Here's the thing. If I choose to be with the most beautiful woman or the most beautiful women, plural, I could possibly get.
Why are you using a New York accent?
Other people, including my coworkers, including my colleagues, including my own family, other people will perceive me as a shallow, superficial man. Which I fucking am, but I don't want them to see me that way.
Yeah, I don't think most men have the decency to care about being perceived as shallow by their family members if they got with a woman who is very conventionally attractive.
If I get with an ugly woman, no matter how fucking stupid she is, they will perceive me as a man of substance, as a man with deep, redeeming, moral and intellectual qualities. Because I made that choice. I made that commitment. And even if I'm cheating on her, even if I'm cheating on her in the most low-down, despicable way, I have the respect and admiration of my friends and family in a way that I would not if I had married a stripper, if I had married a model.
So attractive women are all strippers?
If I had married a cocktail waitress or any woman who just kind of looks and acts and talks that way. You may think this is horse shit. The next time you go to the gym and you see a drop-dead gorgeous chick who works as a personal trainer, and let's just say she's so drop-dead gorgeous that she dropped out of high school, never really had to read a book in her life, never really had to lift a finger in her life. The other fucking employees at the gym, they don't even fucking care if she knows how to teach yoga or not. She's so good looking. She's been able to get by on her looks. You have a fucking 15-minute conversation with her about any topic. Then ask yourself how your mother would perceive you if that's the woman you marry and that's the woman you have kids with. That's why handsome men, gorgeous men, and men who have options for other fucking reasons, cultural, intellectual, career, who fucking knows, men like me. That's why men choose to be with ugly women. And it's fucked up.
Okay, so those said men judge women on their personalities and don't care about their looks at all. You got a problem with that?
Because the truth is, all this shit is hereditary. All this shit is inherited by the next generation. You owe it not to yourself, but to your kids and grandkids to bang chicks that are not just gorgeous, but...
You have a problem with men who get into relationships with women you find ugly. We get it, Eisel. And banging hot chicks? Somehow the kids care about their mom being hot? You sound so messed up.
Also brainy, brilliant, and highly ethical. It's gotta be everything, baby, not just the looks.
Yeah, the perfect person does not exist. There you go, everyone. Another putrid video by Eisel Mazard. And this time he has completely lost his mind and went open season on a bunch of women for no good reason. He made a video about beauty being meaningless in the past, but ever since then he has been obsessed with judging which woman is hot or not, which woman is good looking or not. Why does he care if he claims beauty is meaningless? If he truly thought that, he would avoid talking about a woman's looks, but he comments on women's attractiveness far more often than the average male YouTuber does. And like I said, Eisel loves to stalk women, whether or not he regards them as beautiful. That's why he leers at so many women's Instagram pages. And look at all these bikini thumbnails. Like I said, he is obsessed with judging women's appearance and stalking women in general. And he has a fetish in insulting and emotionally abusing women. I'm starting to think there is some truth to what Durian Rider said about Eisel in the past. In a way, Eisel does seem like a predator of women. This is very unbecoming of a man in his 40s who has a daughter and claims to be an intellectual. You are a poor excuse for a father, Eisel. Very irresponsible. I can see why the courts did not give you custody of your daughter. She is better off not being raised by you.
Meanwhile, in case you have not picked up on the subtle insinuation that I've presented to you through visual juxtapositions with my amazing editing skills, the gorgeous creature you see on screen.
And you are looking at other women while being in a relationship with Melissa. If you think this girl is so gorgeous and you are mesmerized by her looks, and you would keep her in the background of this video, why don't you do Melissa a favor and break up with her and try to hook up with this chick, since you think you have it so good with women, Eisel? Just end it with Melissa right now and go message that woman and show her your face. Talk about how you are such a genius and show her your video of her here and ask her to be in a relationship with you and see what she says. I dare you, you creep. Eisel is truly a nutjob, and he continues to obsess over women's appearance, and he brags about his own luck with women. Even when I was talking to him about Gabby Petito, a young woman who was murdered, and he focused on her appearance and called her ugly, and he calls me shallow at the end. Absolutely insane. Eisel, you better watch out because you have nothing going on for you. You are unemployed, and you are literally relying on your mother to financially support you. I wish her well, but when she is no longer here, you are screwed. So you better straighten your life up, develop some real skills, get a real job, or build your own business, and stop stalking and bullying women on social media, and stop being a terrible person in general.
Miss Katie has let me know that she is fighting for her life on Twitter right now against false criminal accusations that could put her in jail. I hope she goes to jail. I hope she dies in jail. For me, that's the end of the story.